Good to go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Tom Hutchison, Deputy Mayor and Chair of the Committee of Adjustment. This is the July the 14th, 2020 Committee of Adjustment meeting. We're using audio only to conduct this meeting. Video is not possible at this time due to the limited bandwidth in some areas of West Grey. Bandwidth is challenging our ability to do a complete video broadcast, so today we're using audio. I'm calling this meeting to order at 1:09. I see through the check-in, sign-in, all members of the committee are present, as indicated again through their login. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the West Grey website at www.westgrey.com. The technology for this meeting is being managed by the West Grey staff. Please refrain from clicking buttons throughout the meeting unless prompted. Before we continue, I'm asking Supervisor Cody Hewlett to provide an overview of some of the other key points for this meeting. Supervisor Hewlett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If you get disconnected at any point during this meeting, you can dial in 1-647-558-0588 and enter the meeting ID. My apologies. Enter meeting ID 826397433904. Members of council or committee, and staff have been briefed on the various features of the Zoom meeting software and will be using the raise their hand function to speak, using the green check mark to vote in favor of a motion, and the red X to vote against. Each member will then be called upon verbally to confirm their vote for the benefit of any guests who have called in rather than joining us online. If you have any technical issues during the meeting, please send a chat message to myself, Cody Hewlett, Recreation Supervisor, and I will assist you during the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hewlett. Excuse me. That takes us to item number 3 on the agenda. Members of the committee, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? If so, you just fill out the appropriate form and file with the clerk. Supervisor Hewlett, do you see any member or any committee members wishing to disclose?
At this point, I am not seeing any.
Thank you. So seeing none, we will move on to item number 4. That'll be the approval of the June 2nd, 2020 meeting. Is there a mover to approve the June 2nd, 2020 minutes? Councillor Hamilton, are you moving this motion?
Councillor Hamilton, I move the minutes.
Thank you. And Councillor Shea, are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Shea, I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions or comments on the minutes from the committee? Okay, seeing none. Supervisor Hewlett, do you see any hands on your screen?
I see no hands.
Okay, thank you. So seeing none, I will call the motion. All those in favor, please indicate with a check mark. Those opposed, please indicate with an X mark. Okay, I will start as chair. I, Tom Hutchinson, and in favor of the motion. Councillor Hutchinson, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hutchison, in favor.
Councillor Hamilton, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hamilton, yes.
Mayor Robinson, please state your name and how you were voting.
Mayor Robinson, in favor.
Councillor Shea, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Councillor Hergert, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Townsend, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.
Thank you. Motion's carried. All committee members, please clear your dashboards. That moves us to item number 5. Actually, Councillor Hutchison, just, you got a comment or just haven't cleared yet? Thank you. That takes us to item number 5 on today's agenda. It's minor variance number A01-2020. Planner Spencer, please read the item and presentation, including 5.2, 5.3, and the correspondence we received under 5.3. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This application, as you stated, is A01-2020 for a property located at 22 Lee's Crescent in Forest Heights subdivision. This meeting is called under Section 45 of the Planning Act. Notice has been given to all landowners within 120 meters of the subject lands, and this meeting is being held and has been notified in that regard through personal mail. So in light of the applicant being a member of our staff at the municipal office, the application itself was reviewed by the county planner Hiba, who is also online here to present the report. Written comments received from the historic Saugeen Métis, Michael O'Reilly from an environmental planning technician with Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority, and comments come from committee members in that regard after we follow the public meeting. Overall comments were provided by the county in addition to a planning report.
Anything further, Planner Spencer?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee members on this? Okay, I see 2. Councillor Townsend, please proceed.
Thank you, Councillor Townsend. I just had a question about ownership. At one point, I did see it was on lands owned by the applicant, if you will. So I'm not sure whether, oh, sorry, and elsewhere I saw it was owned by Jacko Development. So I'm not really sure who owns what or whether it's actually been purchased or is still in the hands of Jacko Development. I'd just like that clarification, please.
Planner Spencer?
So yes, the property, when it was originally, the application came forward, the sale had not closed at this point in time. I believe the new owner, our CBO, is present. He can verify that, but I do believe the deal was to close last Thursday. But there is permission from Jacko Developments. The application could be made on their behalf in their name until ownership switched.
Thank you very much. That clarifies my question.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Townsend. Councillor Herger, you have your hand up?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chair. I'm curious about the potential of like septic limitations. I understand Gamsby and Manorow did this study in 1992, and I don't know that there's any requirements for them to update it, but in light of all the changing climates, so on, and just space and constraints from space on this location, it was noted that there's plenty of room for the septic system. I'm curious, do they have to update any plan from 1992 to today, or no, it all passes underneath the previously permitted plan of subdivision?
Planner Spencer?
No, they do not need to update the plan. They will need a septic permit, obviously, as part of the building permit, but there is no requirement for them to update the plan of subdivision.
Okay, very good. I just didn't realize how long, like, is there ever an end date on that, those documents that have already been done? Engineering?
Through you, Mr. Chair, all I can say is that if there was some drastic legislation that came into place that changed the footprint of how close those septic systems could be to a dwelling unit or the building code change, then obviously they have to meet those requirements, and that can change as the building code is updated.
Okay. Just noting on page 24, I think this may be a new document from Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority. It looks like maybe their new report. And on page 24, in the wording maybe the boilerplate part. I don't believe it's specific to this application. It's just missing an R on river when they talk about what they regulate. So just as it's a new document, maybe we could pass that comment forward. Otherwise, I think it looks all in order. Thank you. Could I move the motion, or I guess we'll carry on with the meeting? Never mind.
Planner Spencer, do you have a comment?
I do, thank you, Mr. Chair. So if the committee would be appeased, I would let our planner from the county, Hiba Hussein, I would let her go ahead and present the nuts and bolts of the report. But if you're comfortable with the content that you've already seen, I'll leave that to the direction of the committee.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions or comments from the committee? Planner Spencer, you get your hand up, or you just got to clear the dash? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I don't see any, well, I do. Councillor Hergert.
Yes, thank you. This is a question to our planner as well. In the next zoning bylaw, do you see that we'll be updating that property to having some hazard lands on it, as was mentioned in the Saugeen Valley? And the Grey County official plan already has it. Do you foresee that we'll be including that?
And through you, Mr. Chair, yes, we have updated mapping from Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority, and that will be implemented as part of the update to DOP and zoning bylaw that we have a rough draft of the zoning bylaw at this point in time. So that's been included in our mapping.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further, Councillor Hergert?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, now that now is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak in favor of this application? Supervisor Hewlett, have you received any indication, or is anybody on your screen that would like to speak in favor of this?
I have received no correspondence, nor am I seeing anybody through the dashboard.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none, is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak in position or in opposition to this application? Supervisor Hewlett, have we received any indication, or is there anyone on your screen?
Again, seeing none.
Okay, thank you. Planner Spencer, did you prepare a motion that you could read for this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the motion would be to approve application A01-2020 under section 45(1) of the Planning Act to vary the requirements of subsection 15(2)(4) to reduce the interior side yard setback from 6 meters to 3 meters to permit the construction of a single detached dwelling unit. In addition, to further vary the requirements of subsection 6(1)(2)(b) to permit the construction of an accessory building in the front yard.
Thank you. Mayor Robinson, are you moving this motion?
Mayor Christine Robinson here. Yes, I am moving the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Townsend, I believe you were next up. Are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Townsend, yes, I would second the motion.
Thank you. If you could clear your screens there, the dashboard. Is there any questions or comments from the committee on this motion? If so, just please raise your hand on the dashboard. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please signify by a check mark. Those opposed, please indicate with an X mark. 7, okay. As chair, I, Tom Hutchison, am in favor of this motion. Councillor Townsend, please state your name and how you're voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.
Councillor Hergert, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Shea, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Mayor Robinson, please state your name and how you were voting.
Mayor Christine Robinson, in favor.
Councillor Hamilton, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hamilton, yes.
Councillor Hutchinson, please state your name and how you were voting.
Councillor Hutchison, in favor.
Thank you. Motion carried. Please clear your dashboards. takes us to item number 6. Planner Spencer, could you please summarize the motion we just passed?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the motion was to approve application A01-2020. And the motion under 6 is that it be approved and the decision will be outlined as per the attached decision sheet in the agenda.
Thank you. Usually at this time, we do have a date that we would promote for the next meeting. I did not see that, so we'll have to stay tuned and watch the website for that unless there's an update that I've missed. I don't believe so. And that would take us then to item number 7, which is the adjournment of the July 14th, 2020 meeting. So I'd be looking for a mover for that. Councillor Hutchinson, are you moving that?
Counselor Hutchison moves the adjournment.
Thank you. And Councillor Hergert, are you seconding that motion?
Counselor Herger, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to call the motion. You can clear your dashboards, please. Okay. As chair, well, call the motion now to adjourn. As chair of the committee, I, Tom Hutchison, am in favor. Councillor Hutchinson, please state your name and how you're voting.
Counselor Hutchison in favor.
Councillor Hamilton, please state your name and how you are voting.
Counselor Hamilton, yes.
Mayor Robinson, please state your name and how you are voting.
Mayor Christine Robinson, in favor.
Councillor Shea, please state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Councillor Hergert, please state your name and how you are voting.
Counselor Herger, yes.
Councillor Townsend, please state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.
Motion is carried. We are adjourned and it is 1:25. Thank you.